There we go.
There we go.
There you go, Ben. Okay, so this is like Patty Broussard, and this is Andrew Mallet. Andrew's our producer at Project Inception, actually.
Uh-huh.
How you doing?
Actually, I'm a pretty tired paper hanger. I work for a living. Physical. And I do research and I write on the side.
So, will you blew your mind when you went to Project Inception or listened to Patty and I on the radio at Pyramid One, or what?
What I was looking at was an eye opener for me, because there's so much bullshit out here on the internet. You know, 99.9% of it is hogwash, and it's part of to me, the secret military stuff, which I came to find out I was a part of.
MK Ultra.
Well, yeah, in a way, I'm chipped, so to speak, and I had the nanobots coming out of my arms until I got in a fight with some guy, about knocked all my teeth out, and then I had them all removed. And it's kind of like that movie, The Bug, with Michael, whatever his name was, that plays Superman, Michael Shannon. He played it on what was it, Broadway. It was a very good play, but they take it from reality. You know, the real thing is the nanotechnology has been around for a long time, and I wrote about it. And the funny thing is, 3 weeks later, Wes Penry wrote about it. He's a much greater writer. I went to college for this, and then got interrupted. My wife came down with breast cancer, so she's a survivor, and she's also a candidate for mind control, the nanotechnology that they're spraying us with, you know, like bugs, and the whole thing that you see on the riots and the protests is all about that. That's what I think.
Well, no, the riots and the all of that. That's Soros is. Well, he was paying $35 an hour, but the pay rate just went up to get more people involved. It's not going to be enough for them to cry
the people that participate in that are candidates for the mind control, because they have a lower intellect.
Yeah, so if they'll give up their values to get the money, then
yeah.
I don't know what the new pay rate was, but it was $35 an hour a couple of days ago.
And, you know, and the funny thing is, it's always about the money.
With a minimum 10 hours per day.
Right.
So that's a good paycheck.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for example, let me give an example here. My dad was a World War II Navy frogman, and when he died on Veterans Day of 2007, he had no money. He spent it all. The three sisters I have and I had to pull it together just to have a cremation. And so a year ago, I get a letter, and I open it up, and it's, wow, I got $5,000 sitting in unclaimed funds in Florida from an insurance policy that my dad never told anybody about. So since it came to me, and I'm a junior, I never considered my sisters, all three of them, were involved. Well, then when I wrote the book about the mind control stuff and how a targeted individual, and I finally realized that I've been a targeted individual ever since I was in the Army. I've been an experiment ever since, and it's still ongoing. But
everybody that's in the military gets to play that game.
Oh, yeah. And you know, the funny thing about it is...
been there, done that, got the T-shirt.
Yeah, you know, the thing is, I was forced out of the military because of who I am. My family comes from highly politically connected in Florida. My great uncle, or let's say his second cousin, if you call it that, was W. Turner Davis. He was president of the Florida Senate in 1955, the year I was born. And his father was Charles E. Davis. He was president of the Florida Senate in 1915. And his brother, which one was it? I think it was either George, well, I can't remember that far back, but he was the Chief Justice for the Supreme Court of Florida. So our family name goes all the way back, you know, the bloodlines and all this stuff. And because of who I am, and things went kind of crazy at Fort Polk, Louisiana. We were being experimented on, and I failed the physical to join because my draft number was 4. And when I quit college in '74, I just joined the Army. And when they tested me, I hit 100 on 3 out of the 4 tests. I hit 95 on the other one. So they sent me for an IQ test and all this, and it was pretty damn high. And when they wanted me, they kind of delayed it, and then they said, well, you didn't pass a physical because I had Legg-Perthes disease as a child. Forrest Gump, had to wear a leg brace.
Yeah.
And and they said, we're going to send you back, and you can reapply in a month. So they were giving me a bunch of bullshit back then. So what it did was it raised a flag at the Pentagon. And my intelligence was so high that the recruiter even told me, he says, Mr. Davis, I've never seen scores this high in 16 years as a recruiter. And I never found out until, doing research and getting a college education about writing that they wanted me for some reason. And I think it's because of the high intelligence and the mind control program, which at that time and era was the very beginning stages of the nanotechnology. And the way I see it, I've had problems my whole life, and I always get out of them. It's what they call a super soldier. They call it Rambo shit back in those days. But I never knew that until a year ago. So when I wrote my book, the mind control gave me insight to other people. And one of these websites was called Data Asylum. And of course, the author is John Smith, And what I gathered through the research, it took me 2 years to research his website. He's a very intelligent guy. In fact, I've come to the conclusion that he was an MIT professor involved with the design of the artificial intelligence that goes hand in hand with what he calls the nanotechnology takedown program. And we have people that are working inside the NSA, CIA, whatever you call facilities. They got the 3 computer screens and all that they teach you nowadays to operate, and they control people just like, the movie Gamer. I mean, we can all be snapped just like that. And so this happened with my sisters.
Unless you're me.
Oh, right.
I didn't have a high school education, and when I tested for the military, they did something similar to me. And they tested me out at 176 and said, what do you want to do?
So let me ask you this: what are they allowing you to view these videos, and or are they just letting us out because they screw up and now they're trying to amend for 50 years of fucking us up?
No, the reason why I have all this stuff is because the reason why I have all the access that I have, I built a computer lab at NASA Kennedy Space Center. And you can't kick me out of something I built.
Right.
So, yeah. What do you want to look at?
Show me something live.
This is live.
Okay. So you were talking about a sphere coming at us. I mean, do you know what it is?
I'm not talking about a sphere coming at us.
Oh, okay.
That's bullshit. Because the Red Kachina, we shut it down. We boarded it and shut it down.
Mm-hmm.
So it ain't. Nothing is hitting us. Ever.
Okay.
I
kind of knew that.
Me and my hit team, my light worker team, are why NASA's jaw dropped open when Saturn changed color. And I fixed the hex prison on the top and put one on the bottom. We locked up Saturn, aka Satan, and put a new broadcast array beaming Gaia's signal now. So, yeah, we want to look at. This is real time, as you can see right now.
Yeah, I can see that. But something interesting was about the radiation thing that I caught. About 6 weeks ago, or longer, And I'm chemtrails. That was in my book. I was exposing it. I finally got documents that were released, and with my calculations, I came up with a little over $6 trillion that they've been doing this with. And of course, not too recently, the mainstream media said, "Oh, Pentagon misses $6 trillion." Holy shit! I hit that one right on the button. But one day they were really spraying the skies. I mean, it was like I never seen so many planes, and I actually saw the first black one. And it clouded up all of a sudden, and of course I took my iPhone and started videoing. I went inside. I was only out there for 9 minutes, and as I was editing and posting on Facebook, I froze it. I said, "Holy shit! I saw sun flares sticking out sideways," and I got sunburnt in 9 minutes.
Yeah.
I also got diarrhea, and my dog got diarrhea, and I suspected right away radiation. So I know something funny's going on. You got a lot of files, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. What do you want to reading on?
I was just reading on the video. I was watching the video from a couple of weeks ago, and I suspect Facebook is part of the artificial intelligence that they're gathering profiles on the human species and whatever hell they're up to. It's not good, but there's always going to be a survivor here and there, regardless if they at least want to go their dumbs or not. I have a daughter that was told by the experiment that that I was going to have, and I had her, and it was by a person who was Mexican, and I had her through a Mexican. It took me 18 years to meet this woman, but sometimes I wonder, man, what have we really got? And I'll probably never live long enough to find out the answers, but I know that I've seen the future. I've been there. So apparently we got some kind of time travel device in the military, and they used all of us guinea pigs, soldiers as whatever it was. But I was too smart for them.
I was an NBC officer, so
yeah. I was too smart for them. They didn't like that. They tossed me out real quick. See, the thing is, when I got in trouble after things were going crazy.
Where would you like a live reading on?
Oh, I don't know. Pick something out. Doesn't matter to me.
Where are you located right now?
I'm in I'm in Jacksonville right now doing a job.
Right.
Yeah, I got solar on my roof in Daytona Beach, Florida. 104 Spoonbill Court, Daytona Beach.
Florida.
One out of 5,000 homes, and I'm the only one that's got solar. Our electric bill's about $10 a month.
Jacksonville.
It costs us like $11,800. It's paid off already, so.
See, I go direct to the hardware
and
do a live read. This pisses the EP off big time.
Mm.
I come in from their technical side.
Mm.
The techs use this to interface the actual equipment remotely. Takes a while to go out and read the equipment.
Yeah, so we got ETs on the ground. And, and they're the bad guys or the good guys? I didn't quite catch that.
Some of both.
They're a little both, huh?
A little both.
Yeah.
Betas are offline.
The human species has been killing each other since we were recording history, and there's got to be something behind that.
Yeah,
just because we're human.
Sunday time. There's no beta, so I do 2, 5, 6, and 7 because those are the most common.
Mm-hmm.
Spew from either reactors or something like that. Line graph.
You should check underneath me too.
Yep, it's up there.
That's
1,400.
What does that mean? Radiation.
Okay.
That's counts per minute.
Oh.
We should grab a. Do you want to screen capture that, or I can, or you can, or both? We haven't looked at some stuff there yet, so.
No, I trained a bunch of other people in my group to do this for me, so I don't have to do it all the time.
So what is our biggest threat? The radiation or
Well, you got to understand, radiation is only half the equation.
right. We get radiation from cell towers.
No, I mean half the no. This is
Density.
No. Places like Paducah, Kentucky, that make nuclear rods.
Mm-hmm.
They're exempt from CFC laws.
Really?
So they pump about 800 tons a year per location into the atmosphere. Damn, I dropped my mouse and opened a bunch of windows.
Yeah, I hate windows.
So we have no ozone, and we're getting UV, A, B, and C hitting the surface.
Yes. So what burnt me? The sea?
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I was red. God Almighty, I feel it. I couldn't sleep that night.
When was that?
Lots of people like that, and that's what I said with you, even Andrew. Everyone's pulling up radiation right now.
It was around I don't know 6, 7, 8 weeks ago. 6 weeks ago. I'd have to go look it up on Facebook because I posted I post chemtrail all the time. I got thousands of photos, and there's some good pictures. You drive around and you see it. I can't understand why people don't look up.
Which one are you closest to? Was it Toledo, Ohio?
Daytona Beach, Florida. Oh, me?
No, Andrew.
Andrew.
Cleveland, Ohio.
For Karen, I gotta go and use the international system to get for Karen. Sorry.
It'll be so interesting just to get even the Dakotas, just so we put the Dakota one up as well. Just for the water stuff and water protectors while we're in here. Which is only 6-8 hours away below me.
What is your Facebook, Ben?
Capital NEORULZU. Neo rules you.
I can do the connection right now. You do that.
Yeah, it was when I first went public about my encounter or incident. It was over the fact that my daughter's mother's cousin wrote a book about incident at Fort Benning, which happened a year and a half after my incident at Fort Polk. And
well, the law wasn't bad enough on you, Andrew, and they're not showing beta at all. The range 2 is they've got it shut off. But all the rest are bad enough. They're up in the 400, peaking at 400.
Wow.
What time was that? Oh, the date.
The peak was late night on the 9th. They did a reactor dump.
You know, my wife suffers from hot flashes post 2 years of double mastectomy, and the pills that they gave her, it's poison. You know, it's arsenic, it's cyanide, sodium cyanide, and she's healthcare taker. She's a dietitian and diabetes educator, healthiest woman I know, and you can't even get near her. Oh, you're burning me up. Me?
Tell her to get some black cohosh.
Black cohosh?
Black cohosh. Yeah.
Okay.
That's for hormonal stuff, or actually Maca, M-A-C-A.
Yeah, we got her. I got her on the frankincense, and she quit taking the pills a little over a year ago, and she finally started listening to me. And I wrote another book. It's going to come out soon called The Pink Mile. That's the title itself is going to sell, but I documented 4 years of her post-surgery, and what they really don't tell a couple or whatever, the severe side effects of the survival part, the recovery, and it's not good.
Well, really all we
Did she
need
do chemo? Is that how she dealt with it?
She did. I don't know. So they give her a Remedex, which is a estrogen blocker, and she volunteered the radiation thing because she's scared to death. That's what they do. They scare you to fucking death. And then insult to injury is, oh, we're going to put you on these pills, Mary Beth, because if you don't take these pills for 5 years, you're going to get cancer somewhere else. And it's all bullshit.
That's the thing. What cancer does, what radiation does, is it completely destroys your 21st chromosome.
Yeah.
So you can't get cancer because cancer's an out of control growth. And your 21st chromosome is your repair chromosome. So if they by giving you radiation, they kill your body's ability to repair from anything.
Right. And what do you
So
think about
not really cures. It's destroying your body's ability completely to respond to any kind of damage.
Right.
Hey, we want that one.
Oh.
I know, we got to get this to the tribes.
That's way up there, huh?
Yeah, it's over 3,000.
Jesus Christ. Is that right
Wow.
over the Dakotas?
Yeah, North Dakota, Bismarck, North Dakota.
Shit almighty. They're really pounding them.
Jacksonville was high, but this is more than double Jacksonville.
I see that.
I just sent you a friend request. Ben.
Yeah.
On Facebook.
Oh, okay. Hang on. I got it.
Yeah.
Got it. We're there.
I'll send that to you.
Okay. Yeah, I have some education in web design and stuff like that before DSL came into play. It was still dial-up. And so the Data Solemn website is what really intrigued me, is the fact that he will send you all over the place with a website, which means there's not a new window. It goes to the next page and all that, and it'll lose you, and it'll lose most people. And I think he designed it to lose the fucking bots. And
I was BST001 for the rollout of ADSL in-home networking computers.
Wow. I mean, before the search engines got famous, I had an IT guy show me some tricks about the HTML, where you put in the meta tags and the search keywords. You put them at the bottom of the page, not top. I said, what does that do? It says the bot quit looking, and then you're going to be shot up to the front 10 pages on a search before 3 months. It'll come up in a month. So I had a lot of, and then they started monitoring everything and all that web design was for naught, They made it, and that's when the pop-ups started coming out, and I'm the guy that discovered the Melissa virus. It came in through the backdoor.dll file in the Windows front page program. And of course, I didn't want any claim for fame for that. I didn't want anybody to know. Yeah, I was first online with the Kevin Smith Show. And,
Yeah.
and John Vasquez wrote his book, Incident at Fort Benning, and then I decided to go ahead and tell my story because Command Sergeant Major James Norton horribly died. He was microwave death. And I decided to get my story out before anything happened. Well, a year later, that was in 2011, John Vasquez started going crazy. His agent wouldn't even talk to me. Facebook wouldn't let me hook up with him, and then John mysteriously died, and so did his ex-wife. And then 3 months later, the day before Kevin Smith died, I talked to him, and I pulled my book off the shelf. I was just about ready with it, and still in college, and I decided to wait until the time was right. So
We got something going up in Mexico.
really, ooh, wow,
Yeah, let's go.
is that an earthquake?
No,
No.
let me go CPM. CPM's.
Oh, CPM's okay.
They're having an event because that's normally pretty clean. They're pushing almost 70 counts per minute today. I noticed it right off because it was red. That's
What is there?
when you consider the fallout. It's like, right here is where the green tablets are, right? The emerald tablets, the last set, they're sitting right here. And then they don't have a nuclear reactor, so I don't know where the hell that's coming from. Unless they drop something on them.
Who dropped what?
Tactical nuke. It's not very high, so it looks like it'd be like a tactical nuke or something. Karen, most of the ones near you are shut off.
Surprise.
Or don't exist anymore. Even Edmonton's off. All you got is Calgary.
Jeez.
Let's see, keep those. Go to CPM. Yeah, you're pushing 40.
So what's the story on Fukushima? Is that still burning up?
You got 3 cores at Fukushima,
Right.
another core up to the north up here, and another one down about 65 miles down the coast. Below the other Fukushima site, you got another core on the ground. So you got 5 wads in the ground, and April of 2014, the one from reactor 3 was the fastest moving one. Was 4.5 kilometers down and still moving. So they're beyond recovery. And all the water that's thrown in those reactors is going right down and through the hole and out to the ocean. So.
Yeah. So how long before the ocean dies?
It's a little late for that. It's already dead.
Oh shit. Yeah, I saw the double-headed sharks and everything else coming out of the sea.
No, it's not that. You got to understand the. I got to go to the other side of the system here.
Have y'all heard my joke about the flat earthers?
Yeah.
They drive around their cars with flat tires. I always get bumped off the fucking friendship list.
I can sit and say the Earth is just as flat as your head.
Yeah.
That's a bad one. But I keep thinking that this mind control program that's so secret that, it takes forever to saturate the human body worldwide. And if they got 98%, how much longer is 2%? Well, if they've been doing this since '98, I figure we got 10 more years.
It doesn't take that long.
Really?
I don't know who gave you that idea.
Well,
They're using scalar waves now, and scalar waves bounce off the ionosphere and run at 1.5 times the speed of light. So you can canvas the entire globe from anywhere in a matter of seconds.
Let me show you my little trick. Hang on. I got to keep this away from the computer. These are super magnets.
You a game or what?
Had to pull them apart. So when I give them apart like this, I put them here and on the back side of my wrist, and I wrap them with just elastic wrap. And when I wrap them around my wrist, I use them every day for about 30 minutes every day, and it keeps the nanotechnology from staying hooked up.
Yeah, that's like Nikon, the magnetic company. Japanese. Those are just neodymium.
Now, you got to understand, they've cut the system off June of 2015, but even then, orange is salt. The salt was all gone here now.
Wow.
What happens is the water carrying boron binds to the salt, takes it to the bottom, kills the bottom of the food chain, and desalinates the ocean. So what happened is the first seals that came ashore in Alaska were not radioactive. They were riddled with disease because when you take the salt out of the ocean, that's what keeps the bacteria from going nuts. So they were being eaten by bacteria. Now, once you kill the bottom of the food chain, people got to also understand that our oceans are our oxygen generating plant. The trees are just filters.
Right. You know, the carbon theory, sometimes somebody says something about when trees at night, they go, they go to sleep, so they expunge all the carbon they soaked up during the day.
No, they fix the carbon in the soil.
Oh.
All this salt here is coming out here from the Lake Pontchartrain deliberate accident back in the 80s. All those salt mines where they stored all the radioactive content and all kinds of other fun stuff that goes boom, that was a deliberate accident. So all the salt's coming out here into the Gulf and out here. But as you notice, the ocean conveyors are shut down as well.
Wow.
They haven't been working either for a long time. They're doing the same thing with the salt mines down here. So it's pissing out the Amazon River.
Yeah,
but even that conveyor ain't working either.
I saw there's nothing left of the Amazon. In fact, what was it? Vice, the HBO show that Brazil and South America's out of water. I'm surprised they even got the Olympics off.
Yeah. I mean, there's loads of issues. That's the gravity map.
Yeah, fresh water's going to be more valuable than gold soon.
You see how whacked out the gravity is?
Uh-huh. Wow.
That, of course, is the entrance hole at the North Pole, and of course, there's the entrance hole at the South Pole. But then again, I can go into the actual satellite and show you the hole at the South Pole. The Amundsen Scott base, where they show you the Amundsen, they got the camera and everything. That's not the actual Amundsen Scott base. The Amundsen Scott base is actually a station, much like the ISS, floating in zero gravity down in the hole.
Really? Zero gravity?
You know, there's a lot of just a lot of fake bullshit going on out there. I've got a complete scan of Earth too. People don't know what they're talking about. Where's my? Not that one.
I don't think our government's ever going to tell us the truth anyway. I figured that out when
no, not that one.
When my father came up to me about a month before he died in 2007, he said, "Son, I'm the one that made that phone call." I said, "What phone call, Pops?" He said, I call Senator Lawton Childs, really. Senator Lawton Childs was my dad's college roommate and fraternity brother after the war. We got him elected. He was an unheard of, but he was also chairman of the Defense Department Budget Spending Committee. So when this UFO incident happened at Fort Polk, which I wrote about, I got written up for an Article 15 for insubordination. I refused to tell them what the fuck happened.
Now, they show Edmondson Scott Base being over here. That's actually built above a spaceship that they're rehabbing. Let me go to the Land Manager. I'll show you the actual. What is it? I gotta turn on the right layer. Come on. Thank you. No, not that one.
You know, what really caught my interest was what you were talking about, the chromosomes and how they're damaging everybody to a point.
See, there's a hole.
Yeah. Wow.
That's where Edmondson Scott is. And it's down in this hole. There's a spaceship over here that they're rehabbing. But I'll show you where the Edmondson Scott base is.
What kind of spaceship?
It'll res up in a minute. That's right there.
What was that craft you had a picture of on the video the other day?
Which one? I show a lot of them.
It was like straight up and down, and it was before they shut off the feed.
Yeah.
I think it came from the ISS.
This is it.
Yeah, that's the actual. It's a floating defensive station over the hole. It's floating in the 0G down in the hole.
No shit.
So.
Yeah, I read up on something, a hole they dug in Australia. No, where was it? Australia or something like that.
Find out area.
They were going through the Earth for something. I forgot what it was. When they were communicating through the Earth instead of through the satellite.
Yeah. So you can see there's other, old civilizations here and everything else. Old ruins.
Wow. Kind of looks like Mars, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Can you zoom into that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bear in mind, this is using radar, so the sea's past the ice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder how many times Earth's been restarted.
Yeah.
I know how many.
How many?
We're at 16.
Wow. 16 times. How many hundreds of thousands of years is that?
It's back to it's 13 cycles
13
per classroom. Gaia helped raise 15 other races of beings, to help out other student goddesses out there in the Milky Way here. 12 of which provide seed stock for Gaia to make humans. The seed stock was for the male side of the equation. Gaia used her own DNA and the DNA of the ancients. The ones that built the sun and all these big artificial moons and things, way back, 2 wipes of the Milky Way ago. Their descendants drive Nibiru, the real Nibiru, which is 6 times the size of Earth, and it's a giant artificial spaceship type planet.
Isn't that like 700 years away, something like that?
No.
Nope.
It's been here for a while.
Well, I mean,
I get pictures of it every time we do strikes, like when we did the attack on South America, on the Antarctica. It peeks over the shoulder of the battle planets that we called in. The reason I know all this stuff is because I am the commander-in-chief of the Earth Defense League, or I should say the Human Defense League. This is Nibber when she came in for a run by. That's her right there.
Oh, damn.
These planets run around under warp drive, so they're isolated gravitationally from us. That's Nibber Rev 2, the descendants of the ancients drives this. That's what it is. It's huge. Not as huge as some of them out there, though. Athena is bigger than Nibiru. And Athena's one of the space group forces that's on my team. And she came in to blow up the power plant at Edmondson Scott. The fake Edmondson Scott that's sitting over the top of a frickin' spaceship that they're trying to rehab and get going again. So she did the strike on that. Kabloom.
Wow. That's kind of like the Atlas rocket that got blown up at Space Kennedy the other day, or a couple months ago.
Here's the Edmondson Scott bases right here. This is the ship that they're trying to rehab. They're trying to rebuild it and get it going again.
That's not how it's made, is it?
It's huge. It's a big ass ship.
Ship.
That's where John Kerry is. That's what he was going down to check the status on. But they don't talk about that.
Of course not.
And the South Pole, this is another thing we were talking about, because, the South Pole is melting.
Boy, yeah.
Yeah. We've got hidden spaceships that they've pulled out of the ice and all kinds of fun stuff.
Oh, shit.
There are no secrets from me. I got eyes everywhere.
Well, my incident was really strange, but telepathic communication between me and others is just mind-blowing to me. And of course, it faded out, but
that's Athena.
I actually still believe that I was on the bridge of a ship looking down at Earth, and I was taken in the year 2026.
And what did you see?
I saw a lot of devastation.
And when did this happen?
In 1976.
Okay, so that timeline's no longer valid.
Yeah.
What year did you say?
1976.
No, the date you went to.
2026.
See, that's a more accurate map of where all the bases are down there.
Wow.
There's a lot more than they admit existing. And that is why back in the 79, was it? They deliberately misprogrammed that airplane's flight that was doing the tourist flights over the South Pole and caused it to crash deliberately. Was to shut down the tourist flights.
I was watching some of your video where you had pictures where shadows were different and you were calling them timelines, and I'm going, well, doesn't it like Google splice the picture and they had different times that they took the pictures and all that stuff and the colors that looked like rainbow coming out from the airplane it was in the air.
Yeah. Well, they have a major Mandela effect issue going on down there right now. It makes me laugh.
Hey, when my whole life, I used to smoke cigarettes for like 30 years, 10, 11, 12 years ago, and my daughter's mom, she was a big smoker, and she always, I pulled the lighter out, light it up, it's freaking green, and 20 minutes later she wanted another cigarette, and I pulled it out, it was blue. How do you do that? How do I do what? How do you change your lighter? I said, fuck if I know, I think I'm a time traveler. I'm just joking with her, and there you go with that Mandela effect. And it happened to me so much that when I quit smoking cigarettes, it quit happening to me. I used to think that every time you flicked a big, you're in another timeline.
You were talking about this sort of thing.
That's the one, huh?
Yep.
And also, here's a theory. There's a guy by the name of Sean Gautreaux. It's industrial surrealism YouTube channel. He was paid a grant to photograph clouds in New Orleans or Baton Rouge, something like, for 5 years, and then he started seeing the cloud shapes were all the same. I mean, there was a pattern to all this, and he thinks that we have invisible craft, which is nanotubes, and it bends the light around the ship. And that's what I think what you captured right there was bent light that went around something. You're going through a ship, and it's catching the prism. No? Really?
No.
Okay.
That's breakage in the timelines. Mandela effect going down. I mean, I've got ships at the on the ground at the airport overlapping each other. I got planes you could see through with different lettering on them. One overlaying another from a different timeline.
Wow.
And letters which we don't use out on the wing on this timeline at all. On this plane showing up. A lot of weird crap.
From a different alternate planet.
Well, yeah, they're merging together. Here's another. They're building a new ET craft terminal here too. But here's the interesting shit. Look at this. You've got another one partially phased in, overlapping 3 others with the tail coming through the body.
Wow.
Partially phased in. Doubles here.
There's that black plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think
there's another plane here that's barely even visible.
Yeah, I see it. Yeah, I used to think that chemtrails was to block, the visibility of being able to see outside of our atmosphere. But then I found, the nanotechnology is what they're spraying us with, and it's a hidden agenda. And then when I came up with the numbers, they leaked that. I mean, it's $2.4 trillion between 2004 and 2009. So I did
this is what's in it.
Wow.
Nanotech.
Yeah.
It's under 5 microns in size.
Wow. Well, let me tell you this. In 1998, this buddy of mine, he used to be a CIA Special Forces trained assassin. His job was to keep the heroin coming from Cambodia and Laos even after the war was over 75. He was there until 81.
So, I like that shot.
So, wow. So Slammer, that's his name, he, we were in his shop, I don't know, 99 or 98 or something like that. And I used to have these around October every year. I would get these itches in my arms, and I don't know what the hell it was. They'd been doing that ever since I was in the Army. And he goes, yeah, I get those too, but at the same time. And then one night I was in the shop, and one of them son of bitches popped out of my arm and got caught in the hair in my arm right here. And he said, don't move. And he went and got some Scotch tape. And he captured the son of a bitch. We went inside and put it underneath the microscope that he bought from Toys R Us that had a video, photo capabilities. It was a new thing. And, man, I couldn't believe what the hell I was looking at. It looked like what you were showing me right there earlier with that fucking critter on a 200 times microscope or 2,000 times microscope, and it was moving around. It was like what was it? The Men in Black, when they shot the guy with the diamonds around his neck and shit, and he opened up his head, and there was this, oh, I'm dying, this little fucking E.T. sitting in a captain's chair, and I said, that's exactly what that fucker looked like. And then all of a sudden it just disappeared. Bam. But we took a photo of it. And I I started calling them nanobots. I don't know why. It's just something I just had an
It's
instinct.
pretty much what it is.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what it is. So
Do you have that photo?
Hmm?
Do you have that photo?
no, it's on a floppy disk, and I won't even say where it's at, but it's somewhere. And I wish I could.
And here's their new delivery method.
Yeah. Wow.
The little syringe on it.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I woke up with actually 4 injections on my inner left ankle.
Oh shit! I had one on my ankle the other night. Motherfucker! I see them some bitches flying around in my house sometimes, and you know, being the super soldier, I can catch them like that. Really, I've had a guy pull a gun and put it in my head, and I take it away from him before he'll even squeeze the trigger. And I'm driving down the interstate, and there's a wreck happening, and I miss all of them. Keep going. I mean, how many times can you get away from being killed? And so, is the experiment still going on? Hell if I know. I'm sick of it. So I learned from this professor who tells you how to beat the program, and you don't have to have the electromagnetic pulse to do it. And I did mention that to him in an email, and his reply was, "Well, that's interesting."
Okay. Do you remember this?
Yep.
This is the Port of LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, guess what? It's not in LA anymore.
What?
Port of LA
Yeah.
is no longer in LA.
Really?
It's in Long Beach. That's where it was. Okay, now. And here. There is no port in LA anymore. It's down in Long Beach. Mandela effect. And we have, rather than one island off of LA, we now have 7. You know, there's things like that, and things that harken all the way back to World War II. You know, the invasion of Normandy. They didn't stage up from Sicily because of, you know, a multitude of issues, but now Sicily overlaps the boot of Italy. Close enough, you could put a bridge across. Another Mandela effect. New Zealand used to be one island, now it's 2. All kinds of fun stuff going down all the time.
Yeah, the first time I did the magnet.
This is just wrong.
Unbelievable. You know, what really amazes me how stupid the human race really is. Most of them, 98% of them. I mean, you got the 1%ers, and then you got the other 1%ers like us. We're the ones that, for some reason, get it, and everybody else don't.
That's true.
That's true. I mean, you know, there was a reason why I've been so dumb all my life, because I don't want anybody to know how damn smart I am. Ain't doing their fucking business, including the Army. They knew how smart I was, and whatever they did for me.
Here's the thing. IQ tests only tests your memory for memorizing the bullshit.
Right.
So, does that in any way attach to actual IQ? No, not really.
Well, the test that they gave me to begin with has 4 categories. I can't remember what the hell they were, but when that recruiter told me I hit 100 on 3 of them, I said, "Really? Damn, I wasn't cheating that time." So when I was a kid and had to, you know, I couldn't go out and play like everybody else. My mom brought in a tutor, and by the time I was 8, 9 years old, I was proofreading the typing that she had done on the side at Florida State University, college students for their term papers, and college professor. And so this one college professor was doing his second PhD thesis, and it was homeopathic medicine. And so he says, "How long has your son had this affliction?" He said, "Oh, about 5 years now." He says, reached into his Dr. Welby bag and pulled out this little vial of pills and said, "You give your son 4 of these 4 times a day, he'll be cured in 3 months." My mom said, "Really?" Well, guess what? After going to the snake motherfuckers and, "Oh, you're healed, sons of bitches," and all this crap, and my mom gave up on prayer and whatever. And there is no cure. There was no improvement of my bone grinding itself to death in my head. So she tried it. I tried it. And 3 months later, I went to go see Dr. Francis T. Holland, who was president of the AMA at the time. And he made me go back and take another set of x-rays. And the set of x-rays says, "Well, little Ben, that newfangled brace you got over there, you ain't got to put it on no more. In fact, you can walk on." Guess what? I didn't know how to fucking walk. After 5.5 years as a kid and being educated by a mom that's really smart, and I can proofread, I can speed read, all that stuff. And she got on the phone with Dr. Holland, who got on the phone with this other doctor who was studying at Florida State University. They put together a paper and presented it to the AMA. They refused to publish it 50 goddamn years ago. So it tells you right there how corrupt our medical society is all about.
Yeah, can't make money.
It's run by the cabal. So.
Yeah, they want you to be sick, and so
see, this isn't what got NASA all upset. It's not what I did to the top of Saturn. It's what I did to the bottom.
Right.
I not only pinned it and put a loose reverse pump on it, I put a new broadcast array on it. But this points to Earth all the time, sending Gaia signal now through that network that they used to use to lower humans' frequencies.
Oh, damn.
So it looks kind of funky now with two bottom poles. They get some upset when I do stuff like that.
We should just erase and screw up their frequencies, which is happening, so they won't want to be here.
Yeah, I get to look at stuff in real time, so. Yeah, right there, November 13th, time, what, clicking away. This is now.
So when's the shit gonna hit the fan? That's what I want to know.
The whole thing with putting Trump in was to serve a purpose.
Yeah.
And once he's installed, then when we prosecute, there won't be a president that's going to, let them off. So, I don't know, some weird stuff went down upstairs. I mean, the crew on the ISSs, they all hooked together, and they were hooked to one of the Agartha stations, and we had big star cruisers coming in and taking a bunch of people out. And the new crew on the stations is all a commercial crew rather than a military crew, which I find highly interesting.
Really?
Yeah. It's funny though, because with all the star cruisers that were docking and all the people that were coming aboard and all that, they overfilled all the biffies on the stations. So they're still dealing with what to do with all the waste. In 3 days, they had 1,200 people use the toilet to put the waste.
Wow, that's a bunch. Shit, that's the whole battalion.
It's hilarious, really. They were all so full of shit, Here's another thing that people don't understand. When the second sun is in system, and it's still out there, all the planets and moons in system expand. Normally, a single pass through, you get 15% expansion each time, and that automatically resets the distance of the surface of Earth and the surface of the Moon, so that it correctly runs the tides and things. We're at 24% right now. So even though the poles are melting and everything, Gaia is partially responsible for that because she brought the second sun out and ran it around for a bit because it's a microwave sauce to create all the lava to flood the domes with. The thing is, even though the poles are melting and everything, this is what I was showing. The The tides are not getting higher; they're getting lower.
I kind of
Because we're at 24% expansion and still growing. So the Earth's getting bigger. So are we going to be inundated with water? No. And God is gradually walking us back to our original orientation as well, which has the South Magnetic Pole about 100 miles north of Tagish Lake in Alaska.
You know, my daughter
where it used to be.
My daughter's in the Air Force. She's the one that was foretold me 18 years before she was born. But what I never saw was when she got in the military, she met a guy before she joined. Oh, of course, they come flying home for Christmas and got married. I know she was pregnant. Now she got grandbaby number 2. That's what I never saw coming. So she's stationed at Colorado Springs. And she's been telling me her whole life, I'm going to Colorado. How does she know this stuff? And as far as, the Legg-Perthes disease that I had and the radiation I got from x-rays, it was the last 3 months when they finally put a lead down there and they said, oh, we're supposed to protect you. You might get sterilized. Well, fuck, I hit puberty at 8. So I ain't never got anybody pregnant except that one time where I was told about it and it really happened. So who's to say that I haven't been to the future and taken back and forth or whatever. So I get what you're saying. There's a lot of technology going on. Really.
See, they're building a whole outdoor scaffolding array to do repairs. And I'm guessing that's because of that little hat trick I pulled out at Saturn. When they tried to restart Saturn as a sun, it backfed because of everything I'd done to it. And they were trying to restart Mimas as the Death Star, so it was linked to the center of Saturn, and it went kablooey. And they happened to have their entire frickin' fleet parked around Mimas when it went kablooey.
Which was a bonus.
Yes, both. We took the entire fleet out.
What kind of fleet was it? Was it
Spaceship.
An AT? It was our stuff or theirs?
Yeah, our stuff.
Holy shit.
You know, the Cabal fleet.
So they got, I get you. No wonder they're fucking running.
Trashed it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we trashed it. This is what happened to Mimas. And this went on for hours. Just
like you were showing a picture of shooting at each other, right? In that video the other day.
And I mean, this is Mimas. It was just, I mean, big chunks have blown off of Mimas.
and Nemus is
Mimas, M-I-M-A-S.
Mimas, okay.
One of the moons around Saturn. Here's a good close-up of. I took a series.
Yeah.
Of satellite. Yeah, you can see it. And that went on for hours and hours and hours. And then I took another satellite and I watched as the ships went tumbling past. No power, just tumbling through space. Big chunks of Mimas came with them.
Damn.
They're just tumbling. No drive, no power, no nothing.
They're all dead.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Now we're seeing the rod ships more. That's the ring makers of Saturn. It's another ET race. Here's when they tried to restart Saturn. They did that 4 times. And all that energy fed back and blew up Mimas. Idiots.
And they're supposed to be smarter than us.
Mm-hmm. There was nothing they could do. I rekeyed Saturn. Literally rekeyed Saturn. And the moons and put a Louche reverse pump on it and
So we are having a full moon tonight. I mean, what do they call it? Supermoon.
Supermoon, yeah. So you would think that the tides would be high, right?
Yeah.
Especially with the globe, the fact that there's almost no ice left on the poles. They don't tell you about that either. They say, "Oh, we're worried about the global warming." They don't know what they're talking about.
It's just a way to get more money from us poor people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everything you see on Facebook is just nonsense. It's just.
This is
Hillary won the popular vote, and she was 2 million behind when I went to bed.
Yeah.
This
is the South Pole.
Holy shit.
Okay.
What's the center of the picture there?
Stone, which is glittering like jewels. Again, I know what that is, and it is. It's it's precious and semi-precious stones because there's another interesting video out there, although it's put forward by the flat earthers. So that's the South Pole. I mean, literally.
Who's that guy from England? Some professor. He's got everybody fooled. He works for the fucking MI6 and shit.
But Devil's Mountain. You've heard of that, the one with the big mesa on top. That's actually the stump of a silicone tree.
Wow.
That was 6 miles high. Most of all your mountains like that and whatnot, that's what they were. But that was back when this planet was a core world system closer into the center of the Milky Way and was under the authorship of the ancients 2 entire wipes of the Milky Way ago. But that's one of the key reasons why Gaia wanted this planet and asked her mother Eve to ask them for it to have as a secondary lab for Eden. And then Eve gave it to Gaia to have her own classroom. The original, did you see the movie Avatar?
No.
Avatar? Oh, you need to see it.
What was the name of that again? Say it. What was the name of that?
Avatar.
Oh, Avatar. Yeah. I thought it was the greatest movie ever made. Yeah.
Now that tree that they hook their hair into to communicate with the
roots
the world
and all
tree.
that. Yeah.
If you can imagine that this planet had that originally, but when the level 14 folks around the Milky Way campus tried to wipe out the ancients, they consolidated all their population on as few planets as they needed to, as well as some of these extra suns like the one we've got out there. They built that, and then they, as a system, just left the Milky Way entirely. This planet was one of the ones they raped everything off of, just stripped it bare, basically. But those living trees are the origin of Earth's ley lines. So, just where they get flat Earth from that fact, I have no idea.
That's a CIA solid, man. You get
it's
told them the grandma's going to ride, on a rocket ship tomorrow, they'll start believing that too.
Because there you go. This is a tree stump. That's a mesa out there. And not only that, these are all that mesa. The rock forms are all hexagonal, and they have a skin, flesh over them that's chipping off.
Isn't that Devil's Tower?
Yeah, but that ain't even the only one on the planet. They're all over the place.
Oh shit!
These are silicone trees.
Really?
6 miles high.
Wow.
This is what we're talking.
Yeah, I went and saw that. I was out in Wyoming.
That's the mesa. That's the remains of
I got busted with less than a gram of weed, and they fucking charged me for misdemeanor for less than 3 ounces, is what they say it. Cost me $3,700 to get out of that fucking shit.
The same thing.
Thank God Florida went medical. Now I'm going to go see my doctor if I need my pain medicine.
You ever seen the petrified forest out there?
No, I haven't.
That's the tree branches that got left behind in the rocks. There was a few of them. And when they petrified, they turned into semi-precious stones.
Wow.
Because they were silicone.
Wow.
There's a lot of data out there. But it's mixed with garbage.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that got the folks who run this campus really upset with the ancients is they built these 9 suns that illegally tap the transit network. That's ours right there. And they goofed up when they moved that sun here, because Saturn's the original sun of the system. For a while, we did have 2 suns, Sol and Saturn, but once they got Sol sorted out, Saturn got shut down, kicked to the curb. So did Satan get kicked out of the heavens? Yeah. There is some truth to that. Again, it's mixed with a lot of garbage, but...
So there really is a galactic battle going on in Earth, and they're fighting over for Earth, right? That's what it's all about. They're just trying to...
Well, they want to reduce humanity down to 2%, enslaved at the DNA level, and then still farm us for DNA.
So Wes Penry's right. They're gonna turn us into cyborgs in about the year 2045.
They're trying to. We're not letting them get away with it.
Yeah. The only way I see that it's possible to have a gigantic EMP and they can't communicate anymore. And that's why I use the magnets, so they can't communicate with me. They can't tell me what the fuck to do.
They'll never do an EMP.
Yeah, I didn't think so. We don't want to be back in the black days.
No, if they did that, what would happen is they would knock out their own human programming network.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're not going to do that. Yeah. The Mandela merging effect has nothing to do with CERN. The Mandela effect is the stuff that we, the forces of light, are doing. Way back in time when the Dracos started, the way they went about starting the Elven Aquilin War, that got Eden put in quarantine and everything, that created a paradox. And that is what caused the original split. Also with the Martians, when the Pleiadians were out here giving seed stock to Eve to make the Elven race, they got in a fight with the Martians, and they did a hammer down on Mars. That's not the only thing that happened to Mars, but that's the primary one. They were dropping nukes the size of the Empire State Building on their asses. A bunch of Martians used their Merkaba gate dial, jumped off Mars, landed on Lemuria, corrupted the hell out of their society, set up their stupid, really bad design pyramids. When they activated on Lemuria, they broke it and fell here and landed on, what became Atlantis. Now, since that time, Earth's airspace has been the smuggler's backdoor in the Milky Way system for illegal travel and trade dimensionally. Plus a bunch of them landed and did the horizontal bump with humans and added even more screwed up DNA to the genome. And that issue, we can't seal that crack up until we get all of these parallel Earths merged in. So that's what we're doing.
Makes sense to me.
The Lemurians tried to fix it once they figured out they weren't on Lemuria anymore and they were on Earth. They put some staples across it, got the worst of the hole closed, but it's still. That's why you see crafts kind of phase into existence, zip across the sky, and then phase back out again. They're just using Earth as the smuggler's backdoor. This is the current morphology of the races on the planet. Humans are down to 30%.
Yeah, I can see that.
The battle's getting kind of.
I always thought my daughter was
hardcore now.
She was. This is what MUFON told me. They told me that they visited me, took a sperm and put it together, and 9 days later came and implanted in my daughter's mom. She's an implanted mixture.
RH negative blood type?
No, she's B positive. I'm B positive. My mother's B positive. We come from the woods.
So then it was probably done by a solid ray gray.
I don't know about that, but all I know is this. My daughter has never, ever been able to tell her what to do. She says, I know how to do it, Daddy. And everything she does, like the first time I got a computer, and after about 3 weeks of, shut down, fucking thing kept breaking, We took it back to Office Depot and got another one, and we got it all set up. And she says, Dad, she's 3 years old, when can I play with it? Oh, you want to get on now? I got out of the chair and she said, I know how to do this. What? She kicked back like this, grabbed the mouse, started playing the computer, knew exactly what to fucking do. I couldn't believe it. That's how smart my kid is. But she's in the Air Force. She's in the Air Force now.
Here's the thing. The Solly Ray Grays are the Galactic Cops, one of the 5 members of the Galactic Cops. However, they have a contract with the Dracos because the Dracos have the machine to move soul links from one body to another.
Right.
The Solly Ray Gray are all clones. They lost their mental abilities are so strong that it overrode their DNA, and they not only lost their ability to reproduce, they lost their reproductive organs. So they made a deal with humans to do DNA samples and everything so that they could regain their ability to reproduce. So even though they have a contract with the Dracos, they help us wherever they can. Like the Solly Ray Gray are the ones that shut off all the, disabled all the nuclear weapons. So you don't have to worry about World War III with nukes. Not going to happen. Can't happen. There isn't any more fissionable content in the warheads.
Wow.
So, and
well, that's some technology that I guess we never knew was coming. So Russia doesn't have this.
That's these folks right here.
So Russia doesn't have this super fucking atom bomb or whatever.
That's these folks right here.
All right. Yeah, I think
there's nine different species of Greys on the planet, and they're the only ones that are playing on our team.
They are? Huh.
Yeah, they are. They're the Galactic Cops, actually. This is the Lang. That's another group that's playing on my team. They're the first race to ever visit humanity once our containment shield was down. Everybody thought they were fake, but they're not. And they're helping because it's the right thing to do. These are the ships. They're my major strike team. They do precision hits. They're the ones that destroyed that base in Texas and hit Area 51 and S4, or, make things go boom.
So whatever happened to the United States military back in the 50s when Ike had allegedly unconditionally surrendered the planet? And, it's been secret ever since.
No, they didn't surrender the planet. They made deals for technology in exchange for giving up humans. Because there's a long story behind the way Gaia built us. Originally with triple spiral DNA, 48 chromosome, we are immune to the fractal virus. We are immune to the plasma AI, and have a shitload of abilities that scare the bejesus out of everyone, because as originally designed, we could look at our enemy and cause them bodies molecules to disassociate from all other molecules and turn them into a pile of dust. That scares them.
Yeah, well, that makes sense, because I think I'm immune to the nanotechnology naturally. And
That's a Palladian.
I learned that from the guy that wrote the Data Asylum website. Y'all ever seen it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a Palladian. They're the ones that provide the seed stock to eat to make the Elven race. One of the major differences between the Palladians and the Elven and us is the Palladians and us. We're saltwater biology. The Elven are not. They're freshwater biology. Low energy. Guy is the last remaining survivor of Eve's first classroom because she stepped at level 5 energy density. She stepped off the planet outside the time stream and went and visited her mother creator outside the time stream. And that rang every alarm bell there was. And while she was there talking to Eve, Eve's first planet got wiped out.
Wow.
They don't like anybody creating beings like us.
I've heard that story. I read it somewhere. I can't remember where.
That's why Eve and Gaia learned the trick of going into the planet. If you go into the planet, that is your classroom, they can't wipe the planet. It's impossible. And it's against the rules, so.
Yeah, there's just too many secrets out there. We got history and archaeology beyond belief, and however many times cycles we're going to reboot. Well, I think.
Well, the other, like I said, the other 15 classes weren't us. She ran a whole bunch of other classes through here, helping other races to raise their kids, because you got to understand, Gaia is not a registered student. This planet wasn't given to Gaia. It was given to Eve as a secondary experimental lab planet, and she gave it to Gaia. But Gaia is not a registered student, never has been. So that's why she did that. So now she has 15 other races who owe her. 12 of them are the members of the Council of 12. And that's the Council of 12 that provided seed stock for the male side of the equation for the making of the human race. And we were originally triple spiral, 48 chromosome. And I can show you all the events that went down, and when they changed it, I've even got DNA samples from 25,000 years back.
You can even watch a video on Project Ascension.
Yeah. I walk everybody through the whole thing and what these nut jobs are doing or trying to do to humans now, and because I actually did screen saves of all I went and rated their program. They're trying to rebuild triple spiral DNA for themselves and screw everybody else over. And Gaia, the reason for the new high-speed cell phone and wireless network configurations is because Gaia is broadcasting mitochondrial 10 code, putting it in everybody, male and female alike, to do automatic repair back to original stock. This guy here, James D. Watson, who's one of the head guys that works for Monsanto and he's running the Human Genome Project, they tried to give him an upgrade and it immediately undid it. Which is funny. Which is why they're doing, you get your Gwen Towers and all the rest of it. It's to bury this signal. So.
What's alarming is this. I spent my whole life thinking that I was abducted by aliens, and it turns out to be, I think it was a goddamn mind control program. And then all of a sudden you guys come out of nowhere and show me all this. I'm going, what the fuck did I just write? Has to be fiction. Because I had said at the end of the book, ETs don't exist anymore, because who in the hell is going to ever disclose that they are? Not our military, not our government. And I've known all along that they were.
When Clinton got in office, he went to the Dracos and said, give me everything you got on all the changes you made to human DNA. And they said no. He said, well, fuck you. We'll do our own program and figure it out ourselves. But you need to understand, they've got test groups all around the planet, okay? Mm-hmm. This is your letters of your DNA coding. A 1.00 means it's intact, never been broken. All the data that is in that letter coding is still there. Anything less than that means data is missing. So the radiation leaks are deliberate. Free neutrons break DNA. So they're doing this deliberately, and they're keeping track of how well they're damaging people around the entire planet. Now, what's in those letters of coding is this. Where's it? All the code links between your chromosomes. When you get to the end of here, go to there, to this line there, run that coding up in that chromosome.
I saw that the other day on your video, yeah.
That's what the coding that's in each letter of your DNA is.
And all they want to do
now, added to that, the fact that
they want to put you in jail for the rest of your life. Oh, be damned.
I'll just pull a sample here. This is a chromosome 7. The red, that's your forward-reading DNA that actually works. This is forward-reading DNA that doesn't work. Why? Because it's not made to go from pole 1 to pole 2. It's made to go from pole 1 to pole 3. This is non-active code as well, but all the coding is in reverse. It's not made to go from pole 2 to pole 1. It's made to go from pole 2 to pole 3. That doesn't exist. This is the alien DNA that's stuck in there when they remove your third pole to make it still work. This is the repeats, that's the variations. I got these for every chromosome.
That's interesting.
Most people don't know about Hussein bonds either, and that's the interesting thing. I've done models of DNA and things like that, which shows how it's supposed to go. Hussein bonds is because all your anytime you have ATA or GCG in your coding, it's meant to hook 3 ways, not just side to side, but up and down. When you put a third strand of your DNA back in, the third pole, the whole thing sucks up and it actually takes up less room with the data stored in your DNA coding raised to the power of 12 and takes up less room in each cell. What's the Hussein bond thing? This is improving scientifically. That's the way it's meant to be.
Interesting.
And I did a model of what our DNA looks like and what it's supposed to look like. Oh, by the way, this is what the Anunnaki did back in the days of Egypt. To make us so they could crossbreed us with Lemurians, Martians, and all of that, they had to get us down to the same chromosome count. If you don't have the same chromosome count, there's no procreation. So they cut a little bit off of chromosome 2, the bottom off of chromosome 2, merged them together. That's how they did it.
Wow.
All the grade 8s on Earth, they're still 48 chromosome triple spiral. They don't tell you about that in the science class either.
Yeah, kind of figured that. They're only going to tell us what the fuck they want to tell us anyway.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen.
See this three links of DNA?
Uh-huh.
You add the third pole back, that's what it looks like. Just scrunches it right up, tightens up. And all the plugs get plugged. Something plugged into them. You have a lot of free plugs in your phosphorus and everything else. That's why if somebody is wise enough to ascend when they get older, if they start to do it and they pull that energy down their DNA, they spontaneously combust because all these plugs are wide open on your sugars, on your hydrogen, on your phosphorus of your poles. That's the cause of spontaneous human combustion.
Wow. Interesting. Well, listen, gentlemen, I got to get up and hang a whole lot of vinyl tomorrow. And this 61-year-old man is getting tired and sleepy, and I love the education. I enjoy your company, and thank you for inviting me. I think there's just a limited amount of people in this world that can understand shit like this.
Like I said, if I was to do a full thing, it would take months.
Oh, yeah, hey.
The college costs every day to even scratch the surface of what I have in my head.
I learn something new every day. I thank that to my mother, and she's still alive. She'll be 90 in June, and she still drives. And even though I was chipped in the Army, I could never figure this out. We go marching into a gym, it's fucking freezing to death. You got to pull up the arms on both sides, and we're going to give you a flu shot. Bam, bam, 2 at the same. What the fuck I need 2 of them for? There's the catch right there.
I was lucky, and in Desert Shield I got injured. So I was in Germany and then home. Bunch of the folks I was in with, they gave them a flu shot upon coming home. They died.
Yeah.
Deliberately poisoned.
Oh,
yeah.
Go to Walgreens, get your free flu shot. Tell them, man, don't do that. It's a fucking poison. It's the catalyst to.
I don't get it. I never get a flu shot.
I don't either. Me
well, no, Monsanto delivers RNA encoding in their GMO stuff, and your artificial sweeteners are the activators the chemical activators.
Mm.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I don't drink coffee with anything artificial in it. I just drink it black. That's the way to go. In fact, I even had what they call it. It was the hyper coffee this morning. Had double the amount of caffeine in it. Boy, I poured that son of a bitch down. Kept me going all day. All right, gentlemen, I gotta say goodnight. I gotta get my rest, and if you see my Skype on, hook me up.
okay.
All right.
It's good talking to you.
Yeah, thanks for all
Talk to you
the
again.
input. Okay, y'all have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.